You're so close to me.
Yeah. Is it too much? Too close?
No,
I'm on the edge.
It's fine.
It's like the bed.
It's like the bed.
Yeah, I'm falling off the edge, and you're like, you're too close, and I'm like, well, what do I do?
I need to be in the center.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, we don't have any space.
No, this is good. I'm gonna try to bring us in this time.
Great.
Yeah, guide us or like place us where we at. It's a Monday. It feels like spring. There is so many birds around, and yeah, few last days in Czech. Making love today on the Monday of a new week.
Do you want me to talk about this Monday?
Yeah, let's talk about this Monday and what's present, what's alive.
This Monday, I feel movement for us. We've been together for the longest we've ever been together, and we're getting ready to part ways in 3 days. So I'm feeling the movement come, all the pieces that come with that. And I think for maybe the sake of making love and what that means, I think I'm really feeling the curiosity that's always there for me about what it means to be together and what it means to not be together. And I think, you know, the explicit and implicit agreements that we make about when we should be together or shouldn't be together, and what it should feel like or shouldn't feel like. So I'm not that I have that, but I'm feeling that as you ask what's alive. I would be remiss to pretend like that's not in me. And maybe just from a really practical standpoint, there's like, I love you, and you're I would say one of the two people that I like spending time with the most. The other one is my daughter. And there's other people that I really like spending time with, but I'm talking like large chunks and blocks of time. And there's a way where she's more challenging than you, but you're challenging too. So there's like different kinds of challenge. And I really like my own company. And so there's a part of me that's like excited. And I can feel that and so there's this like, wow, what, you know, I'm really excited for the space, and I think we know that. And so and I don't feel guilty, but I can feel feel the remnants of past relationships and what it's felt like to be excited to not spend time with the one that you love. And so that's like present in my kind of like, oh, I don't feel bad because I know that I have before, and it's caused a lot of dissonance in relationships to feel as excited as I do to be in the world and around other people, and essentially making love in this way with other people, you know, and we're both going out to make love and to discover and live and be in life, and then reconnect in a month. And I think that that's so beautiful, and maybe something that as we're exploring relationships, I would like to, you know, understand and think about what is that? What does that mean? Like our presence together. And I think the last piece, I know I'm going on and on, I think in today's world, we have, if there's a base level agreement that we have when we get into lovership, it's that we'll always continually want to spend more of our time together. And then I think at some point in a lot of healthy relationships, that base level agreement is sort of taken out of the closet and tended, and being like, I don't want to spend all of my time with you, but Those relationships are few and far between. And I think that there's a lot of unhealthy relating that just is, we have an assumption that we should spend our time together, and that's not always the case. That's what's alive in me.
Beautiful.
Movement and this.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a beautiful topic, and yeah, very alive for all of us, and especially in the relationships. And I know that I think when we met together, we were both very free people, and we were both like, oh my God, how are we gonna remain free? Like, how are we gonna keep our freedom while being in such a deep relationship? And maybe I feel like you've been sort of making sure that this is understood from the very beginning, while I was kind of like, but I need time with you to actually build a foundation and feel safe enough to then part away, knowing that we're good. And I think we did pretty good job that by now, today, this Monday, I feel safe enough, and I feel content, and I feel good enough to be parting away without this like anxiety. And I'm also excited to be by myself, because I am very independent being, and it is easier for me to be alone. I know that, as a matter of fact. And when I'm alone, of course, I desire company. So and I know that I am seeking within myself for a balance that I don't think I have yet, but I think I truly believe we will get there together, where it's this balance of having time with my lover, having time with the world around me, because I've been in a relationship that was very much focused on each other, and I could feel that I lost the touch with the outside world. My friends became very narrow. I wasn't really open to be with other people. And there was no time for it. I didn't even have the time to realize it. Let's say it like that. So after but because we were in such a deep journey, I would not do it a different way, because there was so much that we needed to do together. And I think when we met, you and me, on our life's journey, we both were like, hey, like what really matters for me is my path, is my purpose. And I was touching that again too, and I was like, me too, like I need to make sure that I remain focused on my life soul's path. And if I lose that because I start to looking towards you, that would not be good for neither of us. And it's a balance, because I do have this, and I think I'm more anxious in that. I'm more anxious, and I'm working on that to release. And then I go into the other extreme, which would be like, I told you, like yesterday when I don't feel great, something happens, there's so much accumulated, and I'm like, fuck off, like tomorrow I'm out, and I just don't want to deal with this anymore.
I don't want this at all.
And
or I want all of it.
Yeah, like exactly. So
where are you going?
I can be this like, oh, I'm just gonna like close it, like, and that's a part of me, you know. And so it's beautiful that I could, and that I could like yesterday be with that part and let her be fully like rebellious and be like, oh, like you don't even have to go to the States to meet him. Like, you don't have anything that needs you, you know? So I was like, oh, that feels really good. Like, I can actually just go and but I would not do that, but like allow this part to be with me and be like, it kind of reminds me of my center. And then I'm choosing again consciously to be with you and to keep the journey while also taking this physical space. And going back to what you said, I think it is so important to to create the space. I think there's a lot of assumptions in relationships that once we're in a relationship, we're meant to do things together. And I think that what I'm learning with you is it's all an agreement and it's all a choice. And if I lose that because I start to looking towards you, that would not be good for neither of us. And I know that when we met, you and me, on our life's journey, we both were like, hey, like what really matters for me is my path, is my purpose. And if I lose that because I start to looking towards you, that would not be good for neither of us. And I think that what I'm learning with you is it's all an agreement and it's all a choice. And because we choose not to do something together, that doesn't mean we don't love each other. But actually, it's like a respect that you are gonna do something different because you need that for yourself, and because I love you, I want to give you that space. And I can see how challenging it is for couples, and sometimes me too. Like I could see this desire of like, oh, I want to like hold your hand, and you know, and there's like a comfort. Somehow there is a yeah. I did touch this piece when you told me a week ago that you're not gonna fly with me to Barcelona, and I really woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna travel alone. And because of my journey and how much I traveled, and this year like we started to travel together, and there was a comfort of having you traveling with me, and it was feeling safe. I was like, oh, I can just travel with my love, and we do this together. And suddenly I was like, whoa, okay, I'm gonna like fly there alone. And then I was just like, man, like I know how to do this. Why am I feeling this anxiety? Like I've been traveling, you know, alone. And yeah, so it is it is a process. Yeah. Yeah. But I I feel the importance of this balance.
Yeah, there's a piece that you. There's one just it's beautiful. I love your you're speaking to the like raging feminine that's like I don't have to do anything, and to hear it in that voice, it feels good. It feels good that to like have her claimed and have you just be like, I don't need him. Like I've got me. Oh yeah, I've got me. Like I'm fully here, and then to be chosen from her, with her, feels really it feels really good. And I can also feel the part that's like, oh God, I can't do this alone. And she's something like the little girl who we've been with while we've been here, which is like this is a scary world, and I've gotten really hurt over and over again. And so like these different parts, I feel like it's like so much about just like letting them be, and I think they live in all of us. But I would say women and men, we're talking about masculine and feminine, but I would say in this relationship, if I'm playing the part of the man and you're playing the part of the woman, like there's a lot of like those it feels good to hold space for you to feel all of those things, and to have you sort of like come back to center in yourself, and then come back to love love here. So I want to say that. And then the other piece I want to bring in, just because it feels for this conversation, I want to share a piece about I have, and it's like these little ways. How beautiful will it be? I mean, if I'm dreaming a relationship for my daughter, all the daughters, like the one that I want them to have, I want their partner to really feel without any words that every moment that is given to them is a gift. So we like, because you said, and why can't I give him space? And I have the same thing inside me. Why can't I just like giving her space? But the recognition is that's not your space is not mine to grant you. Like when you give me your time, if I get 5 minutes of it, that's a gift that you're gracing me with. Like it's not like the assumption is your time is mine and then I'll give you some of it back. So I think that we have this in. And I think it's part of our cultural frame that many describe, and I would be one of them, as a slave matrix, that we are slaves to a system, but it's because we enslave ourselves willingly over and over again. And that's a lot of what the boundaries are, I think, in these relationships. It's not to say I don't want to give you my time. I just want you to remember that it's a gift and that ultimately it's mine. And that at any point I'm like, hey, I'm going to have some of that back. It shouldn't have to be a conversation. And then in work, it's the same way. Like I don't want to give anybody my time. I think, or my space, or my, essentially my body, or my time, my space, or my time. And so that's, in a lot of ways, the unpatterning that I'm attempting to do, both for myself and for the world. Is, it's not, let's give each other the same amount of time. Essentially, like, I'm committed to doing, I'm committed to loving you for our whole lives, and seeing all of the journeys that that takes us on. And that's, a life is a big chunk of time. And I'm like, I want each moment it to be remembered that you're, like, you are a fully sovereign being, and I'm a fully sovereign being. And then we're coming together at the moments that we choose to create things together. And then to be like, oh, I've got to take my presence and attention and time and space and body over here. And I've got to do this thing with my body that doesn't include you. And that's like, well, that's great. I can't wait to get it back later, but it's not mine to begin with. And so that thing.
I think that's so important, and I agree with you. And I think this, like, assumption of the ownership of somebody else's time and body, it's really toxic, and it's a really an old way of doing things that we as species are, I think, slowly transcending.
So in this weekend, can I?
Yes.
You didn't give me space. I took it. And in a way that felt like, oof, but like, it wasn't something that you gave me. It was something that I just took, right? And that had an effect. But I think that's an important just recommendation of like, oh, I took my own self because I needed it. I don't know what I said.
It's a recommendation.
It's a recommendation.
Took your space.
I took my space. Anyway, I wanted to, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true, and it's beautiful because we are learning. I'm learning with you, and I think there's a lot of it. It's very subconscious, where often the times you tell me like, oh, I don't have enough space and time, and I'm like, oh my God, man, like I'm thinking I'm giving you that, and then. But then it's only measured by me. So sometimes I'm not actually looking at it from your point of view. And so I think last week, I mean, it was an accumulation of things. I think it's also because you've been with me in a country that is not yours. It's my home, and we've been doing work that was very focused on me and my ancestors and so, and then I could also feel that we had a point last week where it was your time now. It was like, and actually I kind of was giving it to you, but I didn't know how. So this like past week for me was learning also, like, and then you can say you took the Saturday, but I also like, now I know how I would do it different, maybe in next time.
Tell me. Let's talk about, like let's say that here.
Because now as I'm getting to know you, I can start to, because you start to say things, I can feel you energetically, like it happened in Pi after my retreat, because what I said yesterday, like you're such a person who gives all of his presence. And I'm not used to it completely. Like I'm still like, wow, okay, this man it's a gift, it's a gift to receive 99% of somebody's presence, and I see that that's your quality, that it's quite unique. And so like in Pi, when you were with me, helping me with my retreat, I was kind of amazed. I was like, oh my God, he's so present. You were so present, but then you hit that moment, and you like become like a wild animal, and in that moment, I don't understand it, because I'm like, I didn't do anything, but you start to say things and you start to act away, and you're snappy and you don't have the patience with me anymore. And I'm just like, and in the moment I feel a bit hurt, because I'm like, what? I didn't deserve this. Like, why? But now seeing it that it came second time, I'm like, oh my God, this is actually where you sort of reach your limit. And it's like you start to communicate me like more through your body and through you say short sentences. I can see it in your face if I pay attention. But then I really need to kind of be like, oh, okay, that this is him pulling the flag and being like, Eva.
Could I speak about this? Is beautiful though, but I think for our future, this is so good. Remember that I felt it coming, and I gave you warning, like, oh, next week I'm gonna need space.
This time.
Yes, this time. So like that's or in the future I can do that, even if I didn't do it. But let's say
I'm not sure you did it. I think on Monday you just like communicate. But
so regardless of what I did, let's not go there.
Yeah.
But in the future, I will tell you when that's coming. And I can actually go as far out. I can be like, I'm feeling the requirement for space coming.
Yeah.
And then the thing for you to know isn't, so what I'm looking for, it's not the short sentences and how I communicate. When I need space, if I'm in our presence, like I don't want to give any attention. So I actually don't want to be saying any words. So the words are only short because and when there's a desire for attention, like I'm happy then being like, I'm going to pretend that, not even pretend, I'm going to be with my love, not giving any attention to her. And that's the assumption is that's here because I need space. And I think I can absolutely feel you're like, we haven't talked all day and I just want to have an hour-long conversation, or I want to have dinner together. My body is like, no, I need space for a week. Like and it's not that I'm not going to want to have dinner, but it's like, I need there to be no, like, we haven't talked all days. I need there to be no, like, sort of like, oh, I'm needing something from you because we're together. And so it's those moments that I'm a wild animal and I get very short. And I think in there's something that's so just like, ooh, like that's hard because I think you're a daily being. And to some degree in that, I'm just a wild animal who's like feeling one way for the whole week, which is like I want to run around and, like do these things. And so every desire for something of me comes as that. And then you're getting a response that's like, haven't we already talked about this? I don't want to talk about it again. And then everything's drawing and sort of accumulating. And that can happen. It's like we've only had 2 conversations in 3 days.
Yeah. And what, if I may,
yeah, please.
What I have learned, and I think I was sitting with it also, yesterday, but what I have learned, I didn't tell you this, so I'm like, what I have learned is now, first of all, I can recognize, and it took me some time to truly be like, okay, wow, this is a thing. And again, like, I think in the past, anyway, with us, so now I'm like, okay, when I see these signs, now I also realize one thing, because this time, this week, this particular week, I was actually Monday, Tuesday, very conscious about your needs. And I didn't realize that basically when you ask me for the space, you're still not able to take the space until it like gets to the point when you're like, and then on a Saturday.
I need to pause you right here.
No. Let me please continue. And I realized it is my responsibility. So it's like this week I was like, oh man, like I actually, because your nature is that even if I engage with you and I'm like thinking, oh, he can always say no, or he can like, your nature will be again. You will look and you give me 100% of your presence, and we will have a 2-hour conversation where you gave me that presence in the moment, because I like didn't realize, oh, this is the time where John doesn't want to. And so it is really, so this week I felt like I have to be the one literally not engaging.
Can I pause you for a moment?
Yeah.
Yes, this week is beautiful. Thank you.
Because otherwise, if I don't do it, then you will.
I'm coming in because we're talking about me, and I want to make sure it's like I'm not claiming anything that's not mine. So, very quickly, when you're conscious of my needs, so we've talked about this a lot. often asking for in relationship is psychic communication and the truth of it. What I'm asking for with space is no thought about me. Or when you think about me and wonder about me, you recognize your wondering and thinking and go think about something else. It's essentially that space. I don't want anybody to be conscious of my needs. I want you to spend as little time as possible thinking about me. And last week, there was a lot of thinking about me. There was a lot.
Not Monday, Tuesday, but then we sort of but it's okay.
So the difference this week is that broke, and you're like I can feel the difference now so there's a difference. You're not so, you're not wondering about me. You're wondering about you. And I think this isn't about, but mostly what I feel in relationship is the wondering. So the 100% of consciousness that you're talking about, I'm feeling that. And I think we all are. I'm just present with that.
Yeah.
And so, I can do the same to you. So essentially, like what I know to be possible is if Friday you go to Spain and I want your attention, I can get it without ever calling you or texting you. I know I can do that. And so I'm asking, I'm asking for accountability in that strange reality that we can do together. That when we give ourselves energetic connection, we can actually talk to each other or make each other feel things or communicate with each other's intuition without anything. And especially if we're in the same space, and especially if we're doing parts work, then there's so much responsibility to be taken and be like, whoa, it's not about just like, it's actually wanting something or wondering for something. And then that's its own kind of silent thing. So I just wanted to, like, that's the bigger thing. It's not the conversations.
Yeah, I think which is very good to mention here is the fact that I fully realized, I knew it already before, but subconsciously, but consciously now I can see the psychic communication and oh man, yes, you come to my dreams. I know that there is so much more that is communicating through just energy, emotions, through our other bodies than just the physical and our language and our time together. So I'm becoming beautifully conscious of it, and I think I think it's very important to recognize and hold that communication or being with somebody else is not just what we are used to and think of. That's basically just the physical presence and the words. So yes. And again, I just want to say, last week I realized like it is my responsibility, because there was a bit of like me wanting you to maybe, I don't know, there was not a full like taking responsibility of like, okay, I need to make sure that his needs are met. You know, it's almost like, and I think that's why the friction got to the point where you were like, I'm taking it, and it was like, wow, like, but it almost made me feel like like you're, again, like I was like, but I'm not doing anything, like I didn't, you know, like I didn't feel like I put you in a prison, but now I'm like, but now I'm like conscious of like, oh, I actually, there were few cues where I was like not being fully in my own, like, no, I'm not gonna engage with John. I'm gonna feel him, and if I would really feel you, I would be like, oh no, this is not a time to engage. And then if I do, then I know that I'm steering you away from something that you need.
Yes. And then to maybe close this, in my reality, and I think that this is important to hold, like, this is very personal. I know that you did nothing wrong, and I know that I didn't do anything wrong, and I know that we were essentially last week in a, not to blame it on the astrology, but we're in a potent finishing of a cycle that we were both quite present with, and there was something that was closing and coming to fruition, and that was happening based on, like, to some degree we did a good job in showing up with our emotional bodies and being kind but being there. So I just want to hold, you didn't do anything wrong at any point. Like, there's nothing that you should have or could have done. There's just a lot to harvest and learn from a week that we both felt ourselves like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of energy here. And I think that there's no, I don't want to create that there's some learning and there's some way to operate that we need to take forward and learn from. It's more just like, we just need to be ourselves and show up in the moment. And I think that we're probably better equipped now, but it's like, let's drop all that shit and then just show up to the next moment, as opposed to, I just don't want you to feel like now you know how to, like, don't worry about that, please.
Thanks. No, it's yeah, I agree. I don't think nobody does anything wrong, and we're just learning. And I do agree that I feel like there was something closing. There's many things closing, and it feels good. It feels like we are stronger together than we ever were. And so again, now depart staying physically away and maybe psychically for a while too feels safe to me. And
for the listeners, we're stronger together after we drove somewhere 2 hours in a car, and then I ended up driving the car home, and you took a train home, and and on the other side of it, we're stronger. And there was really quite little projection, so that was it was a beautiful. Yeah.
I could see that in past, maybe this would have been like a very big thing, like maybe, like, but we were both like, we met each other yesterday with a smile and had a lunch and felt more connected, so that shows a lot. Yeah. Okay. That was a beautiful topic. I think space and balance.
Nice lovemaking.
Yes.
Oh, our friends are here. Can we get a shot?
Come. That's a great timing.
It's such good timing to close. They're like, they want to make a cameo.
I think
you stay there.
We are sitting under an oak tree, and I think they want to